Apollo 13 wasn't a huge deal. We'd already landed on the moon twice, but then something went catastrophically wrong.
A guy walks in claiming he has a piece of the Apollo 13 heat shield, and Rick's jaw nearly hits the floor. The guy's dad supposedly worked for NASA and got the piece as a model gift, but there's zero paperwork. Nada. Just a chunk of scorched mystery sealed in lucite. Rick's intrigued but skeptical. For all I know, your dad cooked this up in his garage. Ouch.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good. How are you?
What do we got here?
That's a piece of Apollo 13 heat shield.
Dallas, we have a problem.
It's Houston.
Texas, isn't it?
I decided to come to the pawn shop today to sell my piece of Apollo 13 heat shield.
Rick calls in Mark, the go-to museum guru. Mark confirms it's definitely a heat shield piece, but here's the kicker. There's no way to prove it's from Apollo 13 specifically. So that whole "this is priceless" angle? Flushed. You could see the seller's soul leave his body.
Earlier, a guy brought in a piece of a heat shield that he claims is from Apollo 13. I have no idea if he's right, so I invited my friend Mark down to take a closer look.
So what do we have?
Then comes the negotiation meltdown. The seller shoots for $50,000. Rick hits him back with $2,000. That's not a counter. That's a body slam. The guy tries to compromise with $30K, but Rick ain't budging. Deal dead. Seller storms out with space rock in hand. Drama overload.
I wouldn't be willing to take anything less than $50,000.
Oh no, 50,000 is not going to happen. There's collectors out there, but they're only willing to spend so much money. So, I'm figuring.
Cut to Corey losing his mind over a beat-up 1973 Husqvarna dirt bike. Thing looks like it's been through World War Z. The guy just wants $400 to get it out of his garage. Corey laughs hard, offers $100. It's like watching a dollar store episode of Fast and Furious.
Vintage dirt bike he wanted to sell. I'm a huge bike guy, so I told him to go ahead and bring it down. So what do we got here, man?
I've got a 1973 Husqvarna 400 two-stroke old dirt bike.
Man, this thing looks beat up.
The guy pushes for $250, but Corey's got a custom plan brewing and can't justify it. They settle at $125 and the guy's just glad it's gone. But wait, Corey's not done. He hauls it to his buddy Danny to Frankenstein it into a rat rod bobber. Cue the mad scientist montage.
Guess it's better than sitting in my garage.
All right, man.
I'll do it.
Let's go write it up, dude.
All right. I ended up settling on $125. It's good enough just to get it out of my garage. So I'll take the $125 and get rid of it.
Danny and Shannon from Count's Customs go full chop shop wizardry. They cut, stretched, and transformed the dirt bike into a street-legal, blacked-out beast. Corey's eyes almost pop out. "I'm speechless," he says. And honestly, same.
I dropped off an old Husqvarna dirt bike to my buddy Danny over at Count's Customs. He just called to let me know it's ready, so now me and Chum are gonna go check it out.
You guys ready for this, man?
I don't even know what to expect, man.
It's gonna be interesting.
Then comes the invoice, $8,500 in labor and parts. Corey just about swallows his tongue. "I'm gonna mark it at $20K and see what happens." That's not a price tag, that's a leap of faith.
Because I can't figure out what to sell it for, but I mean, this is, it's gonna be interesting.
There's no way to really put a value on this bike if you're gonna resell it because
Next, a guy tries to unload what he calls a samurai sword. Rick shuts that down quick. Turns out it's a WO2 Japanese NCO sword. Still valuable, but not ninja-level legendary. And yeah, there's a visible chip, probably from backyard lightsaber battles.
James, my name, and sword is that type of game we're looking at today.
Okay.
I'm coming to the pawn shop today.
The seller wants $800. Rick hits him with a firm $400. They squabble like anime rivals until Rick tosses out $450. Seller folds like a paper crane. Boom, deal closed.
$800 is not going to happen. I mean, I will get $600 out of this thing, tops. So I'm thinking more in the neighborhood of $400.
400.
$400.
Now brace yourself. Comic book nerd alert. A guy walks in flexing an original Todd McFarlane Spider-Man page. Legit Marvel magic. He's asking $20K with no paperwork. Corey's like, "That's a lot of Ks for something I can't prove isn't fan art."
It's a Todd McFarlane original comic book page of Amazing Spider-Man, and so help me, this is as good as it gets.
awesome.
I came to the pawn shop today to sell my original artwork of Todd McFarlane Spider-Man page. As far as how much this page is worth,
The seller swears it's authentic. Corey offers $1,000. That's a $19,000 reality check. The seller's ego hits the floor and shatters like Aunt May's china. Deal denied. He walks off, still convinced it's worth double.
years ago, there was a very similar piece. That page went for $10K, and do I feel that this page is worth double? Well, yeah, I really and truly feel it is.
Unfortunately, what we have here is
Then, an unassuming lady strolls in with a Curta calculator. Yep, that compact mechanical marvel from the WW2 era. Rick geeks out hard. This calculator saved the inventor's life in a concentration camp. You can't make this up.
How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
What do we have here?
It's a calculator.
A Curta calculator. See if I remember how to use this thing.
The lady wants $900. Rick counters with $600. She shoots for $950. Rick's like, this ain't eBay, and throws $725 on the table. She accepts, thrilled. Everyone loves a happy math ending.
900?
I'll give you $600 for it.
How about 900?
How about 600?
How about 950?
Corey's riding his new Husqvarna Street Beast down the Vegas Strip like a biker Batman. Then it dies, out of gas. He calls Chumlee in desperation. Chum hits him back with sweet, sweet revenge. I'm on lunch break. Savage.
But I gotta call Chum, see if I can catch him before he gets back to the shop, because I didn't even check to see if this thing had gas in it.
First up, a guy walks in holding what looks like your standard Old West shooter. But no, it's the original Colt Single Action Army revolver. Rick's face lights up like a kid in a candy store. It's the original Colt 45, he says, practically drooling. The dude only paid $25 for it, 25 bucks, yet he's trying to flip it for $5K. Talk about a glow up.
Hey, I got this gun and I want to sell it.
Okay. Where did you get it?
I got it from an old man I got 6 guns from.
Rick breaks down the details like he's narrating a Western documentary. They called it the Peacemaker, he says. It's got wear from sliding in and out of a holster like a true gunslinger's weapon. Rick's ready to gamble. He skips calling his gun expert and throws down $3,000 cold, hard cash. The seller accepts and bolts for the Vegas Strip faster than you can say cash out.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $2,500. I mean, if everything checks out, maybe I get 3 to 4.
Rick finally calls in his gun guru, Sean. This guy treats the revolver like a holy relic. He's practically petting it. This is the gun that won the West, Sean beams. Turns out the pearl grips are aftermarket bling, but the wear is authentic. It's been in and out of a holster like a real outlaw's sidearm.
My buddy Sean is back in town. He's coming down to take a look.
What's going on, Rick?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, look what I bought.
And boom, we're off to the gun range. Rick straps up like a Wild West sheriff facing down a desperado. 6 shots in the chamber, cowboy hat vibes high. He fires off the Colt 45 like it's 1880. The target takes 3 solid hits. I think he's a dead bad guy, Sean says. Rick struts off the range like Clint Eastwood's little brother.
Get out to the gun range, see what it will do.
So who's gonna shoot the bad guy?
I am. I'm the only one that the holster will fit.
Suddenly, a 1950s vintage Benz scooter rolls in and Corey perks up. Oh sweet, a Benz. But plot twist, it's not Mercedes, it's a German Vespa wannabe. Still cool, still rare, but not exactly racing onto collector wish lists. The guy wants $2,000. Corey's like, yeah, how about $800? Let the scooter standoff begin.
Where'd you find this thing?
I bought this at a flea market. There were about 50 pickers, and everybody wanted this scooter.
After haggling harder than a Black Friday sale, Corey bumps it to $1,075, but not before doing a compression test like he's auditioning for Scooter Mechanic Olympics. It passes. Deal sealed. The seller's thrilled. He paid $650 for it and just pocketed over $1,000. That's a smoother ride than most actual scooters.
Drive it without having new cables put on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'd want to do on a almost 70-year-old scooter.
Then things take a sharp left turn into history class. A guy brings in World War II photos of a Japanese Zero that crash-landed in Alaska. Rick's stunned. How have I never heard of this? Same, Rick. Turns out this was the first Zero captured by Americans. Huge historical win, but Rick plays it smart, calls in his expert Mark before writing a check.
It was the first Japanese Zero that they ever shot down.
Wow.
It was actually over the Aleutian.
A Japanese Zero getting shot down in the Aleutians? Okay, which is part of Alaska.
Mark shows up and confirms this is real history. The photos capture the crash after a failed Japanese mission to distract from the Battle of Midway. It didn't work, but the crash helped the US reverse engineer the Zero fighter plane. Epic stuff. Sadly, the photos aren't one of a kind. They're not rare, but they're real, Mark says. Rick's offer, just $200. The seller groans, but takes the cash and walks.
These men were brought in to salvage this plane. This was the first Zero that we were able
table.
And then, a man enters with what can only be described as an alien crystal skull carved from Tiger's Eye gemstone. Yep, he says if you collect 13 skulls and stand in the center, you summon alien energy. The old man doesn't even flinch. We'll buy it if it's priced right, he mutters like this is just a normal Tuesday.
And I've heard if you get 13 of them, put them in a circle, if you get in the middle of that, you will get energy and the aliens will come down or something will happen.
The skull's actually kinda cool. Glossy, heavy, and spooky enough to haunt your bookshelf. The guy wants $200, but the old man calls it a paperweight. Ouch. They settle at $140 after a good-natured roast session, complete with a warning, if this doesn't sell, it's your Christmas present, festive and cursed.
Tiger Eye is fairly soft, so it's easily to carve.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is if you move it around in the light.
Back to that beautiful Colt 45. Rick nervously asks if the $3,000 gamble was smart. Sean gives the thumbs up. This is worth at least $5,000. You did good. Rick grins like he just got away with a heist. Sean says don't touch a thing, just sell it as is. But Rick has other plans. He wants to shoot it first.
Look, it's been there, it did that. These were working man's guns.
Just when you think it couldn't get weirder, a guy walks in holding Elvis Presley's actual medical records. X-rays, EKGs, the works. Rick's stunned. I can see why he had a heart attack, he mutters, scanning the charts. The seller? He found them in a dumpster. I repeat, a dumpster.
I have Elvis Presley's medical records.
That's definitely different.
These are Elvis Presley EKGs.
The man wants $50,000 for the King's heart scans. Rick's response? A hard pass. There's no signature, no way to authenticate them. Could sell for hundreds or nothing. Honestly, smart move. No one's dropping 50 grand on the ghost of a peanut butter and banana sandwich. The guy walks out empty-handed.
Elvis collectors will buy just about anything he touched, but I've never seen anything like this before.
First through the doors is a guy holding what he swears is a legit Harry Houdini straitjacket. It's for, like, crazy people, he says cheerfully. Rick isn't laughing. He's sweating with anticipation. This thing looks like it belongs in a haunted asylum or a Metallica album cover. The guy wants $100,000. Rick doesn't say no, but he's definitely gonna call in backup.
Jacket.
For like crazy people kind of straitjacket?
Well, this is not just any straitjacket. This is an original Harry Houdini straitjacket.
Before the expert arrives, we get a deep dive into Houdini's wild career. From library escapes and hurricane winds to dangling upside down and death-defying stunts. Rick's eyes are glowing. If this is real, he says, we're talking stacks of cash. But the seller's story has a red flag. Houdini's brother Theo was notorious for selling knockoff Houdini items. The drama builds.
But he doesn't have any paperwork, and I'm a little skeptical. So I invited my buddy Murray down to take a closer look.
Good to see you, eh?
Hey,
Rick.
Hey man, how's it going?
I'm a magician.
Next, a customer shows up with a bullhorn speaker from Ebbetsfield, the old Brooklyn Dodgers stadium. And this isn't just any speaker. It might have been the one that announced Jackie Robinson's name to the world. Rick nerds out. That's baseball royalty, he says. The seller wants $500, but Rick starts at $200. Here comes the negotiation tango.
I'm looking to sell it because it really doesn't fit with my baseball collectible room anymore. I would hope to get at least $500–600 for it.
After a solid back and forth, they settle at $350, and Rick seems content. Probably the only time I'll ever buy a speaker with that much history, he mutters. Honestly, same. The guy walks out pumped for a steak dinner, and I swear that speaker's probably already on Chumlee's DJ table.
Would die to have something like this. It's not something that'll fetch a huge amount of money, but if I can get it for a decent price, there's definitely a market for it.
And then things get inspirational. A man walks in holding a signed letter from Helen Keller, along with a photo. The letter talks about workplace eye injuries. Real heavy stuff. Rick's intrigued, but the signature looks weird, like suspiciously pencil drawn. He doesn't want to get bamboozled, so he calls in his autograph expert, Drew.
I got this Helen Keller letter and picture. Figured I'd get it to somebody that appreciated it a little more than I do.
But before Drew shows up, Chumlee sets up that old Ebbets speaker inside the store and uses it as a PA system. Clean up on aisle 5! Echoes through the shop. Rick just shakes his head like a man who's made too many poor hiring choices. Honestly, if that speaker lasts the day, it's a miracle.
What are you doing?
I'm setting the speaker up.
Any particular reason?
It's the item of the day.
Drew finally arrives to inspect the Keller letter. He busts out forensic-level handwriting analysis and drops a bomb. Helen Keller actually used a ruler to space her letters. That's how precise she was. And guess what? The letter checks out. It's real. Written in pencil, just like she preferred. Drew confirms. Boom. Certified.
I can't believe my dad put that speaker out here. If the old man gets his hands on it, we're dead.
Earlier, a guy brought in a letter signed by Helen Keller.
Rick offers $400, the seller counters at $700, and they finally settle at $550. A solid win for everyone, especially for someone who literally pulled this from a charity auction. As Rick says, it's better than letting it collect dust.
So a lot of it was destroyed. So the price has slightly gone up. I would say retail, $1,250.
Good. Sounds good.
All right, very good.
We're back to the big mystery, Houdini's straitjacket. Rick's expert, Murray the Magician, finally arrives, and this guy is serious. I've traveled the world doing magic, he says, like a wizard walking into Mordor. He confirms the jacket's from the early 1900s, and it has the stamp from Swanfeld, Houdini's favorite custom jacket maker. The odds? 1 in a million.
Hey folks, I got a lot of stuff on display. I hope you want to spend some money today. Hey, you over there, you break it, you buy.
But Murray doesn't stop there. He literally finds a photo of Houdini wearing the exact same jacket in 1915. He counts every rivet, every stitch, and it all matches. This is the jacket, he announces, and Rick's brain almost explodes. I mean, this is like finding Excalibur at a garage sale.
In magic history, this is huge.
Now that we found out that it's real, I wish me and my cousins hadn't played so hard in it when we were 5 and 6 years old.
Now comes the money talk. Murray estimates the jacket could sell for $34,000 to $42,000. Rick offers $25K, but the seller holds strong at $40K, eventually saying $30K would seal the deal. Rick stays firm. The seller walks. This man just walked away from 25 grand. Rick nearly chases him down in the parking lot.
Houdini was notorious for selling things that were supposed to belong to Houdini that didn't belong to Houdini.
Before the episode ends, a guy brings in a massive antique Carl Zeiss telescope, hoping for $12,000. Rick nearly chokes. In perfect condition, maybe $2,500. But this one? Beat up and missing parts. The seller's face drops. After some surprisingly civil negotiation, they land at $1,000 and Rick plans to restore it.
How are you, sir?
Oh, pretty good.
Great.
What do we have here?
This is a telescope that I've had, and I'm moving from a house to an apartment now, so I thought I'd bring it in.
Then we cut to Rick at closing time, looking exhausted as the old man hollers about sales through a bullhorn and Chumlee pretends to be helpful. You ain't no fun, Rick mumbles. The shop may be chaos, but somehow they always escape, just like Houdini.
Okay, so you said you wanted to sell it.
Yes, sir.
All right, what were you looking to get out of it?
$12,000.
Oh, no, 12,000 is not gonna happen.
The chaos begins when a man walks in holding what he believes is an original John Wilkes Booth wanted poster. Aren't those like incredibly rare? Rick asks, clearly suppressing the urge to freak out. The guy casually says he's hoping for $30K, even though pristine copies fetch over $100,000. Problem is, this one looks like it's been through a few civil wars itself.
Hi guys.
Hey, it's you again.
What do we got? I have a John Wilkes Booth wanted poster after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater.
This is a really, really important part of American history.
Rick's fascinated but cautious. This thing should be in a museum, he mutters. The customer insists the check stain on it proves its age, but Rick isn't buying the story just yet. Fakes of this have been floating around since the 1800s. How do I know a guy from back then didn't fake it, he says. Fair question, because it turns out people have always been shady.
John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater, then jumped down to the stage and escaped. It was just a massive shock to the country.
Rick calls in Dana, a Civil War document expert, who pulls out a genuine copy of the exact same poster for side-by-side comparison. And yeah, it's not looking great for our hopeful seller. Dana gently drops the truth bomb. It's a souvenir reproduction, likely made for the 50th anniversary of Lincoln's assassination. Probably worth under $100, he says. Oof.
So we could do a comparison side by side.
So you have one that's proven to be real?
It is absolutely genuine.
Okay, let's see it. Holy cow.
This is the real deal.
But plot twist. As Dana packs up, Rick shoots his shot. Wait, what about that real one you brought? Dana's stunned. Rick goes full buyer mode, asking to name a price. Dana says his client would part with it for $180,000. Rick counters at $100K. Negotiations heat up like a presidential debate. They inch toward a deal, but Dana holds the line. $150K or walk. Rick walks.
because they wanted it to be very, very visible. This would be kind of difficult to read. Obviously, the print here is substantially larger than the small print here.
Rick looks crushed. First one's fake, the real one I can't afford, he sighs. Honestly, you can feel the heartbreak. That was history in his hands, and now it's just gone, and he's stuck looking at a fake with water stains.
Sorry that didn't work out for you, but we'll see you later.
Well, why don't you hang out for a little bit? So, what do you want for this thing?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Cut to some levity. Rick and the old man head out to see a 1930s penny arcade scale. The guy wants $1,000 to fund a vacation with his wife, but Rick quickly spots issues. Coin slot jammed, paint fading, and the whole thing's rusty. It only goes up to 300 pounds, the seller warns. Sorry, Pops, Rick jokes.
This is amazing. Head and shoulders above anything ever to come in my shop. But I have to be cautious. There was a ton of fakes out there.
They try it out and immediately jam the coin slot. Now you broke it, the seller shouts. Rick insists he didn't touch it, but the thing's frozen solid. After a good laugh, they negotiate, starting at $650, going back and forth until finally settling at $775. The seller's thrilled. We're going to South Carolina, baby, he cheers. Vacation funded by Rust, America.
I was thinking more like $500.
Ooh, 500.
It's not like there's a million people out there buying it.
Yeah, but you're not going to find this everywhere. You only get this if you were a pilot.
Then we shift gears to full Top Gun mode. A man brings in a fighter pilot G-suit and helmet used in Desert Storm by his brother-in-law. Rick nerds out again. This keeps blood from pooling in your legs when pulling 9 Gs, he explains. So, it squeezes your butt? Chumlee asks. Rick sighs.
Being in this business 30 years, I have never seen a G-suit.
Really?
I actually have a friend who's a fighter pilot. He knows all about this stuff.
They call in Matt, an actual F-18 fighter pilot. He drops credentials like a boss. Top Gun grad, Blue Angels pilot, military aviator for 17 years. He checks the gear. It's the real deal. The helmet alone is worth a few grand. The G-suit over $1,000. You can't just buy this stuff, he says. You earn it.
Earlier, a guy brought in a fighter pilot G-suit. I've never had one in here before, and I have no idea what they're worth. So I had my buddy Matt come down and take a look.
Rick, how we doing?
Rick offers $500, but the seller wants $2,000. They spar back and forth until they settle at $1,000. I'll take it, the guy says. That's better than what I came in with. Honestly, not a bad haul for gear the government probably didn't even know he still had.
Okay. A G is a measure of the force of gravity. 1 G is normal. As a matter of fact, I'm pulling 1 G right now.
Next in, a man holding a 1930s Chicago pie plate police badge, possibly linked to Al Capone's era. The seller wants $400, thinking it's gangster history gold. Rick's intrigued but skeptical. These things are faked a lot. Time to call in Mark, museum admin and badge guru.
The federal government actually considered going in and replacing the police department in Chicago. In Prohibition-era Chicago, mobster Al Capone ran the city.
Mark breaks it down. The hallmark is correct, the copper numbers match, but it's not a Chicago PD badge. Turns out, it was issued to private security at the Armor Meatpacking plant. Technically a deputy badge, but limited jurisdiction. Basically a rent-a-cop with stake privileges. Still cool, but not mob cool.
Well, what have we got? The interesting thing about the pie plate style is they used this for 50 years in Chicago.
And isn't it true that Al Capone used fake badges?
Negotiations begin. The seller clings to $300, Rick pushes for $125, and they eventually meet at $150. It's authentic, just not what I thought, the seller shrugs. Hey, for a badge that sat in a desk drawer for 40 years, that's still lunch money for a week.
That won't work right here, right now.
So what will work right now?
I'll tell you what, $160,000, write a check.
Okay, $125. Call up your buddy, see if he'll take it.
I can't do that for you.